Good morning. Welcome to Faith in the Morning. Something good is going to happen to you today, so expect miracles. Thank you for joining Faith in the Morning. Faith in the Morning exists to help you start your day with faith and encouragement. Thank you for starting your day with me. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or to our Faith Christian Center YouTube channel or the Kerrick Butler YouTube channel. We love to share more with you. Let's jump right into it. One of the things we've been sharing recently on Faith in the Morning is how after you're born again, you are no longer a mere mortal. It goes along with the series that I'm teaching on Sundays at Faith Christian Center, as well as some things I'm highlighting on our midweek experiences, as well as the book that I released that is available wherever books are sold, No Longer Mere Mortals. So let's jump right into it. One of the things we've been looking at this week and previously on Faith in the Morning is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23. It is being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible by the word of God, which lives and abides forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withers, and the flower thereof falls away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. As we've shared so many times already, we've been regenerated by the word of God. The word of God is the incorruptible seed that our spirit was born again from. And as we shared previously, it is the word of God that gives a life and energy and strength and spiritual nourishment to our spirit. The DNA of our spirit man came straight from the word of God. Or as John says, we're born of God, so it came from God himself. And so this word, which recreated us, is the word that sustains us. So if we want to live the supernatural, superhuman life, if we want to live life as no longer a mere mortal, then we have to be people of the word of God. It's not just good enough to be in the word on Sunday, but we need to be every day. And I encourage you to read at least one chapter of the word of God every single day aloud to build yourself up. But one of the things I want you to see that one of the things we looked at before is John chapter 3. When Jesus talked about being born again, that phrase that Jesus used here is different than the phrase that Peter used. The phrase that Jesus uses in John 3, being born again, is translated being born from above. And if we've been born from above, we should have a higher way of thinking, that we shouldn't be limited to thinking as those who are born on this planet only. But since we've been born again, born from above, we should begin to think from where we are born again from. That we shared earlier on in the series, as well as on Faith in the Morning, we have a new origin story. And because our new origin story comes from heaven, and we've been born again, born from above, born from heaven, we need to think that way. We have to adjust our thinking. I'm so glad the word of God helps us adjust our thinking. Go with me to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah has such a wonderful passage that shares about what the word of God does and how the word of God is higher. Isaiah, let's go to chapter 55. The book of Isaiah, as it shares one of the reasons, like Paul says, why we must renew or renovate our mind. Because if we don't renew or renovate our mind, guess what? We'll think on a lower level. So we have to renew our mind to think higher. Isaiah 55. Verse 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, remember where you're born again from, so are my ways and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain comes down, and the snow from heaven returns not there, but waters the earth, and makes it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. That's what the word of God does. And the word of God is higher. So you always want to check your lifestyle according to the word of God. Are you living according to the word, or are you living lower? If you're living lower than the word, it's time to upgrade your lifestyle. It's time to upgrade your thinking. It's begin to think different, talk different, behave different, plan different, strategize different, because the word of God, which you're regenerated from, is a higher way of living. It's a higher way of thinking. It's what calls you to be born again and born from above. And so like it tells us in Colossians, I like one translation of it says, especially the Message version, it says, have this perspective. See things from where Christ sits above. And so to paraphrase that translation, we need to think differently. We need to think higher. And one of the things it also says in that translation, love, it says that's where all the action is, around the throne of God. where Christ is seated. And as Ephesians tells you, you're seated with him. And since you're seated with him and you're born from above, you have to think different. So as you go through your day today, don't think as a person who's limited to the ways of earth. The ways of heaven are yours because you have the word of God. So be in the word of God every single day so you can live this superhuman, supernatural life. Because once you're born again, you're no longer a mere mortal. It's time to be who you were born again to be. So be a person of the word so that you'll be strengthened, you'll be sustained, you'll be energized, and you'll know how to live this higher life. Thank you for joining for Faith in the Morning. Once again, it exists to help you start your day with faith and encouragement. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, subscribe to the Faith Christian Center YouTube channel, or download our Faith Plus app. We'll see you next time on Faith in the Morning. God bless.